Hi everyone. Oh, I can take my glasses off. Welcome back. Good to see you. Nice to be seen. Welcome to the weather report. The weather report. Whether it's going to happen in this time in our lifetime or not, or whether or not. And of course, talking about the full moon and the other kind of weather, or it's the other hand, isn't it? Weather. The moon has a big effect on our weather, a big effect on our climate, on the oceans, on anything related to water. And water, of course, is to do with our emotions. In fact, there are three water signs in the zodiac: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And the paradigm of evolutionary astrology sees how our soul evolves through the water signs, through the triad of water signs. So whenever something's happening with the water signs, I would say you can expect some kind of added extra evolutionary purpose. So while life carries on, or we think it carries on, in the way that we intend, the way that we plan, we get up on, if you're the kind of person who gets up on a Monday morning and goes to work 9 to 5 and does that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then comes home and has the weekend off, that's your structure. And that's what you expect. And we don't expect interruptions. Even snow on the road, snow on the railway lines, can't do what you planned to do. And we think that these are all of these interruptions in life are kind of inconvenient and they're mistakes. It shouldn't happen. I'm supposed to be doing this. And from a human perspective, that's exactly the way it is. But from our soul's perspective, do you know, sometimes the day-to-day life needs to be interrupted so that there is an opportunity for the evolutionary journey of our soul to have space to develop and grow. I'm just going to pull up the charts. Um, doing this, this is like the fourth attempt at this video this afternoon. And I just want to share, I really do appreciate how, let me come back to me for a minute. I really do appreciate how much work and effort and time um, everybody who creates beautiful, evolutionary astrology videos or any kind of video, the amount of work and time that goes into it. It's awesome. So before I add my contribution anymore, I say thank you, guys. You're all awesome. Okay, and you know who you are. I know who you are. Right. What does it look like? Okay, so this is Solar System Scope. It's a fun little app you can play with. It does make some irritating noises in the background that I forgot to turn off. Oops, now that big thing in the middle everyone recognizes is the sun. And coming back a little bit. Okay, here's the Earth orbiting around the sun and the moon orbiting around the Earth. And at full moon, so this is set for what's the position of the planets tomorrow, Saturday morning, 3rd of January. You see, there's the moon on the opposite side of the Earth to the sun. And behind the sun, you can see Mars and Venus. Okay. Mercury coming up. It's going to catch up eventually, not too long. And that's kind of what it looks like in the sky at the moment. Oh, maybe we get inside the meteor belt, the asteroid belt. Yeah, there we are. So actually, the moon has to be high enough or low enough, not directly behind, for the sun's light to touch it. But it's because it passes behind the Earth that it gets obscured until it becomes free, clear of it, and then the sun's light reflects back on it. So, enough playing with this. Let's go to the chart for tomorrow. Um, Too many buttons this computer has. Here we go. Okay. So, at the moment of the full moon, the moon is at 13 degrees of Cancer. Okay. And the sun opposite the moon. You remember, relative to the Earth, the sun's going to be on one side, the moon's on the other side. This is the full moon. And also, there are the sun's close companions for this full moon, Mars and Venus. And catching up later in the year, well, later in January, will be Mercury. Okay, we'll come back and look at this. But what's also interesting to look at, useful to know, is that wherever the moon and the sun and this stellium of planets, yes, that are gathering together are in your chart, at the moment of the full moon, they form this powerful mystic rectangle. Okay, you've got to make the rectangle, you have to have two trines and two sextiles and two trines. So without knowing in advance where the full moon falls in your chart, you can already see it's a layering, yes, of powerful influences. We can also see at this time, as well as Mars being in a new phase, a new beginning in relation to the sun, and Venus completing a cycle. Okay. So you think as the planets, as represented by the chart here, the planets move anti-clockwise. So Mars will move ahead. Yep. And Venus will catch up and then move ahead of the sun. Mercury will catch up with all of them and come into a tight alignment. But we can also see that there is a pairing in Pisces with Neptune and Saturn, and the outer planets move much more slowly than the inner planets. So they're going to stay together for a while. They've been together, hugging each other like that for quite a while. In degrees and in sign, right, in Pisces, they're close. But as we saw from looking at solar system scope, do you know what? They're like that, looking at it from the Earth. But one's going to be bigger because it's nearer and one further away. So although they're side by side in the chart, yes, if we flipped it, we would see one's further away from the Earth and the other one is closer. So this is about degree and relationship, yep, in that way, rather than distance from each other. And we can see Uranus down here, retrograde. Okay, it's going to continue retrograde for a while and then it's going to go direct in Taurus, is making a sextile, yeah, a 60-degree aspect with Neptune and Saturn. So you could say that they are under each other's influences. Jupiter, retrograde, coming closer and closer, is going to come all the way back to 15 degrees of Cancer, actually, and then start to move forwards. But that's going to take, ooh, I think, all of January and a bit of February, somewhere around there. End of January, well, middle of January altogether is going to be an interesting month. But Jupiter, big planet, representing abundance. Um, well, when it's going forwards, as it's going backwards, do you know what it reminded me of? Is a place I used to live years ago, Pantygasseg, which Welsh means hollow in the mare's back. It's just a little hollow on the top of the hill. And there was a one line of houses on a steep hill. And in the winter, they'd send the truck up to clear the snow. And it has the plow in front and it go all the way, pushing the snow out the way until it got to the bottom of the last bit of the hill. And it had to do a 3-point turn. So it was facing the other way and it would reverse up the hill because there wasn't enough traction with the snow, even with its powerful engine and big tires, to get it up that last bit. They'd worked this out in the past, in previous cycles of winter and snow. And so we also, as astrologers, look at all of the past cycles so we can correlate the information. When that happened out there, what happened down here? When we had a full moon in Cancer, what happened? What was it like? So Jupiter had to back up, yeah, to go up the hill backwards so that it could come forwards. I think yesterday I made that catapult analogy, if you saw the video yesterday. And there has to be involution. Sometimes something has to happen behind you. It's already happened before you get here. Maybe it's a crisis. The crisis leads to evolution. There has to be something that interrupts the current path and the momentum of that path that we're on. And that's what Jupiter is doing at the moment, clearing space, ready to go forwards and bring in the new. So this full moon is going to show up in different parts, different places in everyone's chart. Yeah. So the way we look at this, if you've got your own chart, if you printed it out, or I've sent you one in the past, you've been to astro.com, you can create a profile, put your birth details in there, and it will show you your personal chart, your birth chart, and you can compare it with current transits, what's happening today, what's happening at the moment. Yeah. Okay. So if you look, what I've done here, I've switched the ascendant. Yes. So when you make the ascendant Aries, then anyone with their sun sign, their sun in Aries, okay, it's going to tell you for you, okay, the full moon is going to be in your fourth house. Now, the fourth house is ruled by Cancer. So where Mars and Aries are dynamic and outward going, instinctive, you don't stop to think, you just do it. Okay. Then you have this lunar energy. You've got the moon in Cancer in the fourth. It's like a triple decker sandwich. Yes. You might feel a lot of emotion coming up. Maybe so you can release things. It's not meant to get in your way. It's supposed to be an opportunity to release. Or it might bring up issues around security, but you're going to possibly find yourself diving into something. So be prepared. Who else should we look at? For Taurus. Okay. So as we go to the second sign of the zodiac, what you notice is that the moon now appears in the third house. Okay, so in a traditionally Mercury ruled Gemini house. Remember, Mercury's got a part to play coming up. It's getting closer to this stellium. It's not really the big player there yet, but it's going to get there. If Gemini is your star, your sun sign, then you see the moon has moved into the second house. And the second house, so of course, still going to be ruled by Cancer, but the archetypical energy of the second house is Venus, is Taurus. And so you're going to be, as part of your evolutionary process, growing your relationship with your personal, your beliefs around and values around personal security, about independence rather than collaborating, cooperating with others, which is the outward sign of Venus through Libra. Anyway, I'm going to put this up here. You can come back to this and find yours. Just look for your constant, your sun sign on the ascendant here, and it'll tell you which house it's in, which gives you more information. Okay, what aspect, what area of your life is it going to land in? And for some people, it's going to have more of a powerful effect, and for others, a bit less. Think about, you know, maybe there's a space. Maybe we should do a little bit on each planet and each sign and each house at some point. Why don't you pop me a mark, pop me a comment in the comment section. Put me, where else would you put it? Put me a comment, not a comment. Put me a comment in the comment section. Put me a comment in the comment section and let me know what you would like. Do would you prefer small snippets, little introductions to astrological features, or you want something that builds, or big pieces? Let's see what we can do to make it happen. Okay. So coming back to the main chart for a moment. Yeah. What I want to say, stepping in to this new year, is that we're already at the first full moon. It's an opportunity to look at what you no longer need to carry in terms of personal security, things that you feel you should or shouldn't do, that you need to do, impulse, drive. Maybe it relates to home or your creativity. At the moment of the full moon, Aquarius is on the ascendant. So full moon is ruled by Uranus. Yes. And Uranus is in Taurus in the third house at that moment. So the themes are going to be around liberating from all different kinds of forms, expressions of values and beliefs, the things that have got you this far that can no longer carry you further without just recreating the past, We need something new. So you can expect. And of course, the people around you, everyone around you, your family, friends, work colleagues, neighbors, the moon's going to trigger something different and the sun in their chart. So someone may come across as being um, quietly transcendental and dissolving their own personal limitations and beliefs. And someone else may be climbing the wall or chewing the carpet or goodness knows what anyone is doing, chewing an orange. If you want an orange, just catch. Oh, we make it disappear when I do that. Isn't that magic? No orange, orange. Anyway, that's a bit of a brief introduction to the full moon coming tomorrow. Um, and I look forward to seeing you soon. God bless. Much love.